this video we're going to go over how to use dlib in order to do a bit of facial recognition and be able to log users in using facial recognition. So the first thing we need to do is discuss sort of the dependencies and things. So dlib only works for Python 3.6 x64 version, which means that the dlib will only work for Python 3.6.x. So it doesn't mean it means that it can be of any version. So if your version of Python is 3.6.8, for example, it will work. But if your Python is like say 3.7.2, it's not going to work. The reason is the dlib library is only supported currently by Python 3.6. So anyway, or before, but Python 3.6 is the one you should use. So anyway, so you need Python 3.6, and you also need the x64 version. It will not work for Python with a word size of 32-bit. So use the 64-bit version. As you can see, the links are, as mentioned, 64 there. Okay, so since it's not a package you can easily install using PyCharm, because it doesn't appear in PyCharm, you need to manually install it. There is a video on the channel. It's called How to Install Packages Using pip. So I need you to you watch that video and get to the point where you're about to type in the pip statement. So contrary to the other video, you don't simply do pip install dlib, because that is not going to work, because it's not in the py library. So what we actually need to do, or in the pip library, what we actually need to do is go onto this website. I'll have a link to it in the description. What we need to do is scroll down to the latest release. That is not a tar version. So .whl, because that's going to be the binaries that we're going to be using. So we're not going to click the link. Instead, we're going to right click and we're going to say copy link address. So we've copied it. Brilliant. So now what we do is we go to this and we do pip install and then the link, and then you press enter. Now I already have it installed, so I'm not going to install it again, but that's what you have to do to install this. So once you have installed the dlib library, now we can progress normally with the video. So anyway, so what we need to do is import face_recognition. Now that is from the dlib library, but notice I'm not using from dlib import face recognition. We have to simply just import face recognition. If you get red lines at this point, it means dlib is not installed, so you need to redo the steps. Import CV2. Now CV2 is going to be what we're going to be using to manipulate the webcam of your laptop. Okay, and then you can do that using PyCharm. The rest of these you can use PyCharm. It's just the dlib library, you have to use the link version. Pickle, OS already installed, NumPy, Tkinter. Well, since you're making a Tkinter project, you need these two. And then we need path and glob. These are going to be used to manipulate files in our directory once we get around to that. So, let's begin. So, all of this code is commented. So if you do get lost, you can always read the comments, and it is yeah, I'm not gonna go over every little detail because we're here forever, but anyway, I'll try to explain what everything is. So So the class dlib underscore face underscore unlock. What is this? Well, you can consider this your model. Now, this face recognition is not using machine learning. What it's actually doing is it's going to take measurements of the person's face, like the distances between the features, and a face feature would be something like your nose, your eyes. So like the distance between your eyes measured, your mouth to your nose, etc. So it's going to take all those distances, and then it's going to analyze a set of photos that you've already given the program, and it will then determine the best match, essentially. So it's not really using machine learning, because machine learning would be because this system's using rules. It's based on comparisons rather than machine learning stuff. But anyway, I'll continue. So we're going to be using pickle files to store our information about our people that we have in the system, and our image distances, like our I'm going to call it face data for now on. So the distances between the features is called face data. Let's just call it that. So that's what's going to be stored. So the label is going to store the people's names, and then yes, and then we're going to say if there's no on your first run, it will error out because we've not made the pickle files, but it will make the pickle files once you do your first run of this. Okay, so we're making a dictionary, and then we're essentially going to go through the directory images here, and we're going to go through every single folder in that directory. I'm going to analyze every single PNG or JPEG file in that directory, and what we're going to do is we're going to pan those to the labels and associate the labels to the photos, right? And then what we're going to do is we're going to iterate through those photos, and we're going to do the face recognition aspect. So we're going to be measuring the faces of all those images, okay? And we're building up our sort of like knowledge base at this point. And then yeah, number of images, etc. These print statements you can delete, but yes, it's good just to show the state of the program. And then we're going to write all that information. So once we've gone through all the images, we're going to write that information to the known faces pickle file. So all that face data is going to be put into the known face pickle file. Okay, so this function, this ID, is going to it's going to allow the user, right? So it's going to take a photo of the user who's trying to log in, and it's going to compare it to the face data, and it'll see if there's a match. Okay, so this is where CV2 comes in, where we were taking control of the camera, the video capture camera, which will be our webcam, and then we're gonna resize it so we can process it, and then yes. So then we're going to do so yeah, we read the data in, and then we're going to go for face encoding in face encodings, and then we're going to loop through the known faces, and we're going to see we're going to call face recognition.compare faces. So essentially what's happening here is that we're iterating through the known faces, and what is happening is we're essentially we're examining the face data we just obtained, which is over here, from that input image that the user gave us whenever they clicked the button, the webcam, yep, took a photo. So we're taking that input, and then we're comparing it to what are we comparing it? We're comparing it to each piece of face data in the known faces pickle file, well, well, we've read it in now, so all the face data. Yep, and then we're going to return the best matches. So that's just going to return the match essentially for us. We're going to we're going to return this. We're going to print this. The best match is, and then the person's name, and then we're going to return. So that's essentially so this function essentially builds the model, although it's not a model technically, but we've already discussed that. And then we're also gonna, this is the bit where this is kind of like the login bit. Okay, this is where the photo is taken and then it's compared to the face data. Okay, you can think of it as that. Okay, so right. Okay, so so now that we have that. Okay, we've explained these two big functions. Well, this function is class file. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you the initial bit of the program. So we're going to, what you have to do first is load the faces. So if you had a previous if somebody registered and then quit the program, what would happen is, if you didn't do this, is that their faces wouldn't be loaded in. So what we have to do is we have to make our model. We have to run our model once on the images in the directory before we begin, and we're going to start our program. So let's run that now. But of course it's going to error because we've not made our pickle files yet, so we'll run it first. Here we go. Oh no, it's not going to error. Okay, that's alright then. But the pickle files, yes, there they go. Right. So they've been made. Okay, I thought it would error there, but no. No, it would just get a print statement there saying no label pickle file, so we're going to make them. That's good. Okay, sorry. Well, that's good. We've got a good try catch in there. Thank you, Barry. Pass self. But anyway, okay. Face recognition. Right, so I've not explained what the register button does. So, well, this register button simply raises the frame. But now, okay. So, this allows the user to put in their name, and then when they click register, they'll be able to take their photo. So, Barry. So this is the function we're going to execute first. When we click this button, sorry. Essentially, what this function does is gonna make a directory in the images folder. If it doesn't exist, it's going to first check if there's an image folder in the directory. If there isn't, it's going to make one, and then it's going to make a folder in that directory with the name of the inputted name. Again, this will all be explained. And then what's going to happen is the user is going to be able to take their photo. So this is this bit here, this while true bit. It's going to make a window where the user can take their photo, and then by hitting spacebar they're going to take their photo, or they can hit escape to exit out, and then it's going to raise and back to the login frame. So I'll show you all that in action now. So we're going to type in our name, we're going to click register. Okay, and then here we go. Now unfortunately it's quite dark in here. Let me turn the light on there slightly, that might be a little bit better. Yeah, okay, again, my webcam's not the greatest, but anyway, so here I am. Hello. So let's take a photo and register into the system. Okay, I hit space there. Right, okay, so you can see that it says 1.png has been written. It's do not change the names of these image files because the system needs them to be like numeric. So yeah, so you can see we've made an image folder in the directory where the program is, and then we're also making a Barry folder, which is my name, and then we're going to put our image in there. Can we open it? Yes, we can. There it is. Lovely. So that's that. Now you may notice warning. this, right, so what does this warning mean? Right. This warning, so it's not an error, it's a warning. Essentially, it's the CV2 library is saying, oh, you've quit out, you're not using the camera anymore, but you've not released it. Now, essentially. But as you can see, I have released the camera and destroyed all the windows for CV2, so I'm not really too sure why that is happening. Again, it's just a warning, so we're just going to ignore it, but don't worry, we're not like seizing your camera and not going to be able to get it back. Don't worry, we're always releasing and destroying the CV2 window and camera, etc. So that image is written, okay? So what's going to happen when we log in? Well, after someone has registered, the face scanner needs to load again with the new face. So, and this initial load here didn't have any faces. So if we simply had logged in without reloading the faces, then my face wouldn't be in that. So that's why we need to load the scanner again, load the model again, and then what we're going to do is we're going to determine the user by calling dfu.id. So we're calling this big function here, which I've already explained, takes a photo of the user, and then it's going to compare the data in the known faces pickle with the inputted photo, and if they match relatively, then the user's going to log in. So and it's gonna, what's going to happen then after that is if so this statement here, if user equals blank, so if it doesn't find a match, it's going to return a blank list. So what we're going to say is just going to show an error box saying alert face not recognized, and then if we don't return, then we're going to set the logged in user to counter variable to the name of the first element, and then we're going to raise the frame. So let's run this here. So we're going to log in. Now, whenever we click log in, there's not going to be a big box that comes up with my face in it. Instead, the camera's just going to turn on, take a photo. Well, it's more accurately, it's going to be a video, and then it's going to take the first frame of that video. But anyway, I'm not going to bore you with details. But anyway, we're going to log in. And there we go. I've logged in. Hello, Barry. It says there. So you can see that it says. So actually, I can show you this. This is why print statements are good. We can see that this is actually the data that the system has. So this is literally all of the face distance measurements. The program recorded essentially. From my face that was saved to the directory, and then it compared it with the input that was given, and then it said, yep, this person is this person, and then it says the best match is Barry, and then it's going to return that. Okay, and I have tested this with multiple users. It has worked, so don't worry about that. It does work. Now, I should say though that on the dlib website it does say that face recognition does not work very well with young children. The reason is their facial structure hasn't really sort of formed yet, so the measurements are sometimes wrong, and thus or maybe they're not different enough, and thus sometimes there's false positives, but that's for relatively young children. Once the main face structure has been had, I think it's around 11 years old is when it's good, but don't quote me on that. It should work perfectly. So you can see that lovely data there, and then yeah. So what I could do actually now is do a proof of concept. If I will look up someone's face, I'm just going to look up the word woman. I'm going to use the first image that I find. Let me see. let me get it up on my phone here. What we're going to do is we're going to test, like, you know, right, let's see. Will we do Michelle Obama? We'll try Michelle Obama. Okay. Right, Michelle. That's quite a blurry image of you, actually. Hold on, let me try and find a better image of Michelle Obama. Sorry about this, but needs must in order to there we go, that's a better image. Right, so I'm gonna hold my right, so let's run it again. Let's quit out. Let's quit out. Okay, let's just quit out of the thing. Okay, there we go, and we'll run it again. Now, notice whenever we run it first time, we're gonna be loading the model. That's because if I just want to log in, I can then click the login button. I don't have to register again, and then, you know. So, yeah, I'm going to click login. Okay, so, yes, that first run, again, just to emphasize, it's really for loading the pickle images, and then again ensuring that you can log in. So anyway, let's just register. So let's register Michelle. So we're gonna say Michelle. Michelle. There we go. Second names work as well. Although everything will, yeah. So you can do second names, but anyway. Although I think they have to be all one word. We can try Michelle Obama then, I guess. Maybe Michelle _ Obama might be better, actually, because again, the name is being used as a file, like a file image, and I think the folder name. So I think try and keep it all one string. But anyway, let's register. So hello again. Right, so this is gonna be a bit weird, but we're gonna try and put Michelle Obama. There we go. Hello, Michelle. Yes, you're looking good. A bit overexposed, actually, but other than that, yeah, you're pretty fine. Okay. Right. Real. Okay. So yeah, Michelle Obama is in here. Excellent. Well done. Okay. So let's try, and we're gonna try and log Michelle Obama in here. So I don't actually know how distance the way the camera should be. Yes, there we go. Right, so the best match is Michelle Obama. There we go. So I held my phone out there and it worked. Okay, great. So another good thing about this is that you can add more images of yourself to this. Now, why would you want to add more images of yourself to this if one image works? Well, say for example if it's really sunny outside. If it's really sunny out, well, if you the wrong right. So say for example it's really sunny outside and thus your face is overexposed whenever you're taking the photo. In order to whenever you're taking the photo to log in, so you might get a no matches response. In which case, that's a bit of an issue because it is your face, but it's just too overexposed. What you can do is you can click, well, you can add another image of yourself, and then this time you could like, right, okay, well you get the point that if it was really sunny, you can you'll add another image of yourself there, and if it's really sunny again, then you can be recognized because the machine takes into the model takes into account both images. So if one of them matches the input, it'll still say, you know, I have logged in. Do you know what I mean? So essentially, that's sort of the more images you have. There's a bit of a trade-off. So the more images you have, the more like of one person, the more likely it is to be the more accurate the system is with that person. The issue is if you have lots of images of somebody, you slow the system down quite heavily. So you can make that decision whether or not you're going to want to account for like overexposed shots, etc. But yeah, so that's that. I guess the last thing I should show you then is the see, it's taking slightly longer because it's loading up multiple images there. Okay, so what you could do is I'm going to show you what happens whenever there is no no match is detected. So I'm going to click login, and I'm going to stand away from my laptop, and then it's going to take a photo of nothing, and then it's going to hopefully say no matches. So I'm going to hit login now. And there we have it. Face not recognized because there was no face. So you can see that it was compared to Michelle, and there's Michelle's data there, and then there's both of my images there, and you can see that none of them matched. So it just said no. It just popped that error message out, and of course we're not moved to the login screen. So yeah, that is essentially a basic overview of the face recognition software. Don't be bogged down too much with all the nitty gritty. You can nearly every line is commented, so you can, if you want, you can have a read at that. But that's how you use it. Just make sure that you've imported these libraries correctly. Well, this library in particular, the dlib library. But yeah, thanks for watching. Oh, the code will be in the description. So anyway, yeah. So thanks for watching, and goodbye.